Welcome to the Mastering Energy Medicine podcast. I'm Beth Manning, and I use my psychic healing abilities to help people uncover and heal the root cause of pain and imbalances in the body and help activate new levels of power, purpose, and potential. This is the podcast to help you deeply connect to your body, soul, and spirit so you can heal your body, connect to your inner wise woman, make more soul-informed health choices, and fall deeply in love with your body and with your life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think today is going to be a little bit more of a personal episode. Usually we tackle a topic or something that I feel really strongly about or that I think would really help you guys. And today I want to blend that in with sharing a little bit more of my own personal healing that I've been doing lately. So it's been a real year for being challenged to step into our own personal power, to really start to peel back the layers that are no longer helping us to get to where we want to be in life. So for so long, we have relied on different things to help keep us safe or feel stable or secure or loved. And a lot of these are these involuntary things that we've been doing since childhood to have that sense of safety, to feel appreciated or accepted by the people around us. And this year in particular, the universal energy is really stripping those things away from us and putting them right into our face so that we have no choice but to start to see these patterns that we've fallen into, these protective mechanisms that have felt like they're keeping us safe, but it's making it so much more obvious now how much they're limiting us and how much they're keeping us separated from our power. So if you're feeling right now very triggered, if you're feeling worn out, or like you keep bumping into all these walls, know that you are not alone. You are not alone. The universe is showing you all the ways, all the kind of false senses of safety and security that we've been putting up for decades. And it's saying, I want you to look at this because this is no longer the most effective way to do things. This is actually holding you back. This is actually keeping you from knowing who you truly are, from stepping into the things that you most desire. So a lot of the healing work that I've been doing this year has been around some of my own facade, some of my own things that no longer serve me. And before I really dive in and we talk more about that, about a month ago, my guides showed me that the healing that I've been doing is a program to walk other women through, to help guide people in the way that I was guided through all of this, because it can feel so overwhelming if you have to do it alone. It can feel so overwhelming. And I actually felt overwhelmed for years trying to do this stuff alone. And this year, so much stuff really clicked for me. And so much of this healing, especially this heart space healing, that I knew that I wanted to do, I knew that I needed to do, but I just couldn't access it. I didn't know what the catalyst was for really getting in and feeling a change and feeling a shift. And it really came forward for me in a very big way at the start of this year, really. So I have created a program called Release, and it's an 8-week, very small group program where we walk through a lot of the healing that helps you to really get past all these facades, all these barriers, all these ways in which our past traumas or the things that have happened to us that we thought were keeping us safe but are really keeping us stuck, really helping to see that so that you can step into this whole new version of personal empowerment, so that you can finally break through that glass ceiling of working through maybe patterns of procrastination or not feeling good enough or feeling judged, or like you just keep bringing the same people, just keep coming into your life, the same kinds of relationships. Maybe you're stuck at a plateau with how much money you can make or your career. Maybe your relationships don't feel as fulfilling or connected as you'd like them to be. So this program will help you to really access those deeper layers of yourself so that you can connect to your body, to your inner wise woman, so that you can open up that flow of receiving for greater abundance in your life. And so that really you can strip everything back that's not you and start to really see who you are in all your fullness, your power, your beauty, and start to really step into that and own that. So it's really moving from being kind of bossed around by your inner critic and feeling like, okay, I know there's more for me. I know that, I know these healing tools. I've been doing them, but am I even doing them right? Because like I want more, but I'm just not seeing the results of that in the physical world yet. Like, what do I need to do next? How do I access that? And this program is going to walk you through that. I have my guides are going to work with us in this program, creating special journeys, meditations, activations, healing. It's going to be such a beautiful, intimate space. And if you know me, if you've worked with me at all, or listened to this podcast, I'm all about making healing not feel so heavy. I think healing gets this bad rap of it has to be dark. It has to be like this super deep, we're going to go into the trenches and we're going to stay there and not emerge until like all this stuff has shifted. And that's really not how I work. So much of this program is going to be lighter, expansive, like I will expect that we will laugh, we will have fun, like we're going to do our work too. And it's such a supportive environment for this healing to happen in. So it's going to be meeting weekly and then having Boxer as well, for that support in between sessions. And what I love too about Voxer is that when one person has a question and I answer it and go into detail, so many other people are always like, oh my gosh, that was exactly what I needed to hear. That was exactly what I've been feeling. Like I feel the shift from that too. So I love that experience of seeing women all shifting, coming together, opening up. And this is a real sacred space that I'm creating. So we're starting mid-October, still an early bird price. So I'm going to post the link below. If you have any questions, please reach out, either email, find me on the socials at Beth Manning Intuitive and drop me a message. I would love to speak with you if you're wondering if it's a good fit, if you have any questions. So now kind of going into the catalyst for this program, it was really my own healing that I was going through. And I think if so, I've talked about this on the podcast before, that my dad passed when I was 9. I'm an only child. So it's just me and my mom. And I wanted nothing else than to protect my mom. I felt like if I needed too much, if I asked for too much, if I got in trouble, if I needed too much money, like that somehow she would just magically die and it would be my fault. That was like my little kid brain, but it also transferred into my adult, way of sensing the world and into this kind of like hyper vigilance for how is everyone around me feeling, you know, uh, what does this person need? Can I help this person? And of course, when I started as a massage therapist, this was still my way of thinking. And thank God for energy work, because I was so exhausted, so drained, and not realizing that it wasn't my job to fix everybody else's problems. So when I started doing energy work, that was when I really learned how to shift, how to clear other people's energy, and how to start separating my energy from other people's energy. But so this was kind of my programming that I was growing up with, that I was seeing the world through those eyes, and it was causing my body a lot of problems. First, because I wasn't feeling my emotions, because it felt to me like if I actually expressed my emotions, that I would hurt the people around me, or it would be too much, or that emotion just wouldn't know, it would have no end. It would have no end if I started to let it out. Emotions like anger, sadness, grief, it just felt too big for me at the time. And I wasn't really seeing the people around me expressing it or processing it either. So I really pushed a lot of things down as a kid. And I was just very active. I was, always doing some kind of sports or something to keep busy at all moments so that I wouldn't have to be alone with myself. So this translated into a lot of pain for me. And I didn't know it at the time. I had really debilitating tension headaches pretty much every day. I had all kinds of stomach issues. I think, by the time I was in my early 20s, I had been diagnosed with all kinds of food sensitivities and, gluten issues, plantar fasciitis, IT band syndrome. It was like, a rap sheet of things, including to disc issues in my cervical and lumbar spine, um, all sorts of things that just to me made no sense. I just attributed them all to like, I exercise too much, or, I must just sit too much. Like it was, one or the other. What was I doing too much of? And nothing really made much sense. And no one really knew what was going on. So as I kind of progressed through going to massage school, being more in my own body and learning what that felt like to be in my own body, and then eventually bringing in the energy piece and starting to do these journeys, to do these healings, to start to see that little Beth actually needed a lot of things from me now as the adult to help her heal. So my inner child, still had a lot of wounding that she needed to work through. And one of the biggest things that she never felt or allowed herself to feel was this grief. So kind of fast forward to this year, and I've known for a long time that like this grief wasn't going away. Like I could feel it. Every time I would balance my chakras, I would see that my heart space was tight and closed and guarded. And I'd had a few relationship things that happened as well that really made it feel even more tight and guarded and closed. And it was to the point where sometimes my chest would even feel tight. Like that's how aware of that energy that I was. And then in April of this year, my very beloved companion, my lovely, beautiful dog Izzy passed. And that was the point where everything just completely just kind of broke inside of me. And instead of doing what I would have done before, which was like, okay, let's go for a hike. Let's go, be active, let's go do something to distract myself. I really just let myself sit with the pain and be in that pain and feel that pain and guide myself through that pain like I would guide a client. And as I started to sit in this pain, I asked the universe for help. And a new guide stepped forward for me. And he placed his hand on my heart space. And he assured me that I was going to be okay. But he also assured me that this was the time to start to process this. That he showed me that the depth of my pushing my emotions down like was equal to the depth of the power that I could express on the other end. So the more I suppressed my feelings and emotions, the less power I was able to access. The less of my energetic gifts, my psychic gifts I was able to access. So when we process emotions, when we go deep, we also go deep in the other direction of allowing more of our gifts to come forward, more of our power, more ability to love, more energy. We become more potent. But I wasn't seeing any of that because it just felt so scary to me. It felt so big and so heavy. And like, what was going to happen when I let this dam break? So this guide helped me to heal the different layers of my heart space. And he helped to lead me through the things that I needed to process, the things that I needed to feel. And as I really leaned into that grief, that just felt like some days it just felt like a knife stabbing me through the heart. But every time that I just let myself be with it, it became a little bit shorter and a little bit less painful. And then one day, everything just kind of released and opened up. And it was a huge release. And it was this huge release of seeing that I could be more emotional, that I could start expressing my emotions, and that nobody was going to die, that I wouldn't be seen as too much, that I wouldn't get stuck in these emotions. And so I started to play around with, crying in yoga class or expressing joy or crying happy tears and kind of watching the world around me. And nothing stopped, nothing, I wasn't labeled or told to stop crying or anything. And it felt beautiful to finally start to be able to express how I was feeling in the moment. And it was like, as I cried for my dog, I could feel that there was this string that attached that grief all the way back to my dad. And it was like all this stuff became unearthed in order to process and in order to heal. And I think we don't realize the depths of the things that we just adjust to as humans, that we just, don't, we just kind of become numb inside and we stop feeling the depth of the pain that we're holding. And I just decided that I don't want to feel that anymore or not feel that, like that I was ready, like I was ready to fully feel. I wanted to feel everything. I wanted to feel the depths of those emotions. Like I didn't want to be painting with two colors anymore. Like hand me the whole palette. I want to paint with every color now. I want to see what this all feels like. And as I started to do that, I could feel that my gifts were growing, my power was growing. The work that I was doing with clients was getting so much stronger. It was getting so much more powerful. I was working with people and they were saying, I worked with you 6 months ago and the change is huge. Like I can feel your energy. I can feel that energy that you are moving so clearly, so strongly. And that was when I started to receive new gifts and to activate my own modality and start stepping into that as well. So this healing, it's like this crazy thing. We build it up like it's this huge concrete wall. And it's just, when it comes down, it's going to be so painful and it's going to flood the entire land. And then it's like we start to step into it and you realize it's like a piece of paper. It's like there's nothing really to it. It was like this monster that was living inside of us that seemed like it had fangs and we couldn't move past it. And then it really was nothing. It was like a shadow. And so this was really the journey of healing that I've been on. And I never realized that this grief, that was inside of me was also attributing to a lack of self-confidence, a lack of understanding, like really feeling and believing in myself. Like it was holding me back from so many important things. Like I feel like I've got a big mission to accomplish. I've got big things to do in this life. And I didn't realize what an anchor all of that grief was in terms of holding me back and keeping me stuck in all those kid fears for so long and making them seem so real when they weren't. When it was time to say, that was then and this is now, and I'm going to get some new tools now in order to deal with things. And I'm going to really learn what it feels like to love myself, to step into that, to put myself first. And so a lot of this is what we're going to be covering inside Release. And I have two very powerful guides, the one who helped me, and then another female guide who stepped forward, who is going to be assisting with the energy in this program as well. So we're going to be working with these two guides and just really shifting the energy of the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the energetic aspects of our lives, and really pulling back all of these things, stripping these layers that are standing between who we think we are and who we actually are. Because it's really time to step into who you came here to be. Like, we're done playing small. No more playing small. It's time for us all to really be owning our power. And so often we're trying to step into more power by giving ourselves mantras or just willpower alone. And that's not enough. That's not enough. That's just like pushing against a wall that's moving toward us and just hoping that we can like have a little bit more strength to keep it away. But the real cause, the root cause, is so much deeper. It's old patterning that's ready to clear, that's ready to heal, that this energy right now is really helping us to let go of and to really understand what it is and who we're really meant to be and the power of what we can step into. There's so much potential right now. So I would love to help you with that. And Release begins mid-October. It's still early bird pricing. So if you're interested, please reach out. I will put more information in the show notes, as well as some other ways that we can work together, or you can get some answers to any of the questions that you're having with your health, your body, feeling limited in your life, wanting to move forward. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Mastering Energy Medicine podcast. I would love for you to share this with your friends. I would love for you to give it a starred rating or review. And I look forward to seeing you next time.